Second day in Sudan, sunset over the beautiful Nile River. Sudan is not what they show in the media. This is Sudan.
One of the most misunderstood countries in the world, and a country where few Western tourists dare to go. A destination full of the unknown, and a place that begs a story to be told. This is my journey through Sudan.
Welcome to the Republic of Sudan. So this morning we left Egypt at 3 a.m. We took a bus and then we took a beautiful ferry ride to cross the Nile River over to the other side. We got to the border here, and at the border it's basically just a huge electronics market because all the Sudanese go to Egypt, they buy their electronics and then they bring them over to Sudan. So over in no man's land, it was just this huge open electronics market. Good evening and welcome to our first stop in Sudan. This is Wadi Halfi. We just got off the bus and we're hungry, so we just ordered some chicken at this restaurant using Google Translate, so looks like it's pretty good. So this is our very first taste of Sudan. So that's what we got after randomly ordering with Google Translate. This is much better than I anticipated.
I met the man in the middle from Spain on the bus ride from Egypt to Sudan, and the man on the left is a local man we met on the first night. Here's the full story.
So we had the most amazing night last night. Me and my buddy from Spain went for dinner last night. We had some really nice chicken, and our friend Khalid here, he saw two guests and he came, and Khalid sells hot milk on the road. He just gave us some free milk just as a nice warm gift. So me and my friend here, we went to 9 different hotels. They were all booked, like no sorry. So we had nowhere to go. So Khalid found us again. He's like, oh, just come stay with my family. And so that's where we stayed. Just with his family. We just slept on a nice beautiful bed. And the family was so warm. So Khalid, thank you so much, my friend.
So much.
He's not paying attention, but yes, without Khalid, we'd be sleeping on the ground. So this is Sudanese hospitality for you.
Khalid's hospitality will always stay with me, and the next morning he helped us find this taxi van. As we ride through the desert highway, we will discuss the safety during my time of travel. Sudan has been in a civil war for years, leading to the independence of South Sudan in 2011. The border along Sudan and South Sudan should absolutely be avoided, and the province of Darfur is also a no-go zone. Avoiding those areas, I felt more safe in Sudan than most other countries I've ever visited.
Hello and welcome to Abri, our second stop on our Sudan journey. It's like one of those really creepy abandoned gas stations that you see in all those crazy scary movies. Whenever I travel, I love seeing little towns like this. I try to find them as much as I can because, you know, there's over 7 billion people in our world today, so wherever you're living, it's quite easy just to think like, oh, you know, this is how life is. But once you start exploring places and you see people are living so differently from you, you realize like how diverse this world is, and you know, your life is so much different from everyone else's, and lifestyle, culture, everything is so different when you experience really rural places like this and really get off the beaten path. So that's personally why I love coming to places like this and just seeing how different life can be. So first day in Sudan, a local invites us to stay over and sleep in his family's home. Second day in Sudan, sunset over the beautiful Nile River. Sudan is not what they show in the media. This is Sudan. And this is the room we're gonna sleep in tonight. It's a bit scarce, it's a bit basic, but it's like under 2 USD for one night, so I can handle this for one night, I guess, because there's nothing else in this town.
Football is massive in Sudan, and later that night we gathered to watch Liverpool versus Madrid in a Champions League match.
Alright, so it's time to leave Abri, but things aren't going according to plan. We have no idea actually how to exit this little village, so we're gonna go to the main road and hopefully find a minivan bus that goes our way. If not, we're gonna try hitchhiking, so we're on our way to see what's gonna happen. Alright, well, not a bad start. We got this guy driving us for a couple kilometers. That's a good start. What happened And this is where the kid dropped us off, so from here on then, it's up to here. We've got to find transportation on our own in the middle of this desert. It's been almost 2.5 hours and still no luck. So our attempt to hitchhike in Sudan was an absolute failure, so we had no choice but to hire this little private van for today. It's a huge blow to our budget, but no other option for today, so we're gonna continue on regardless.
So we were back on the road, riding along the now familiar views of the Sudanese desert on our way to a town called Dongola.
So we finally made it to Dongola, and today was absolutely crazy. First of all, we couldn't find transportation to here from Abri, and then we tried hitchhiking for 3 hours. That was a fail as well. Eventually we found someone to hire, and we got here. But a cool story is along the way, we're driving down the highway, it's all desert, and then out of nowhere there's just this huge lineup of parked cars on the side, and they were parked for honestly just a row of them for like easily over a kilometer. And they were all waiting at one gas station for petrol because there's such a shortage of petrol here. We needed petrol, so the guy just pulled in, he cut in front of everyone, pulls in, goes in reverse, and he tells the people like, I have 2 foreigners, they're sick, and we need to go to the capital. Like, oh, okay, so they serve them right away, and we're off. So we just cut in front of a huge lineup of cars. They say if we didn't do that, it would have took like 4 hours to be served, so kind of glad they did that.
Dongola looked the same as most villages we visited in Sudan. Dusty, basic, yet colorful and interesting. We rested as much as possible, but our $2 per night hotel, Sudanese style, wasn't so comforting.
Good morning from Dongola, Sudan. We are just here having a quick cup of tea before we head out. We are going to go to Karima, so we're going to walk to the bus station after that, and hopefully this time it won't be so hard to find some public transport. This morning was much easier. We found the transportation already. We just need to wait for a while until more people come and the van fills up, and then right after we can go straight ahead.
Shortly after we set off, I had the view of this man's feet who was casually riding on top of the van's roof. Along the way, our taxi came across another broken down taxi, so they all just piled on top of the roof. Welcome to Sudan. After a long journey, we finally made it to our next destination, Karima.
So we have made it to the town of Karima, and we were just dropped off at our hotel, our little guest house. It's in absolute middle of nowhere, but it's so beautiful compared to what we've been staying in. So I had a shower for the first time in 5 days, so I'm feeling so happy, so refreshed. The shower, I was literally jumping in the shower because I was so excited. It's so beautiful. So now we're off to get some food and then check out the sights of Karima later. So, oh, hungry. Let's go get some food.
While we were eating, a group of locals came over to talk to us. They were students of archaeology and were about to go explore the nearby pyramids, and they generously offered to take us along with us. Naturally, of course, we had to say yes.
So at dinner time, we ran into a group of archaeologist students who were coming to these pyramids, and they decided that they would give us a free drive and free admission in to see it with them. So here we are. This is pretty awesome.
These are the pyramids of Meroe, and were built by the Nubian people somewhere between 2300 to 2700 years ago. My new archaeology friends said although they were small, it is still unknown how they could have built these pyramids so long ago.
Here's our group of friends that got us in for free here. Let's get in here. We got 1, 2, behind that 2.5, 3.5, and then 4.5 pyramids in the middle of nowhere. This is pretty cool. And just on the other side of the mountain where the pyramids were, we have some very old sphinxes with faces obviously off now, but they are probably over 2,000 years old. So in ancient times, 2,000 years ago or so, the ancients believed that this was a holy mountain because the gods had come and landed on top of this mountain, and then the regular people could come walk through this area here, which used to have these big columns, and they could offer gifts to the gods, like sacrifice a lamb or something. So that's a quick little history that's behind this area. Alright, so we're attempting to climb the mountain here, but just look how beautiful the sunset is behind us, and those are the pyramids that we were just at. This is absolutely epic.
To witness such a great sunset over remote Sudanese pyramids in an empty desert is a pretty rare occurrence. Once the sun finally fully set, we climbed back down the sandy hills and our night was finished.
Good morning from Karima, Sudan. Today we are going to take this bus and we are going to go into the capital city of Sudan called Khartoum. This is the bus we're going to take here. Should be about 6 hours or so. Alright, so after about a 7-hour drive, we have made it to the capital of Sudan. This is Khartoum.
After I arrived in Khartoum, there was a national bus strike, meaning I had to cut my Sudanese trip short. I spent 5 days in Khartoum with the local couch surfer before flying out to Greece. In the end, Sudan is not a place for Instagram pics, comfort, or to relax. It's a place you come to for a truly off-the-beaten-path experience and discover a world vastly different than your own. But most of all, you come for the history and the culture.